Because the only what people can see is above its surface. But what they can't see is the work that's been done. The root system has been built, the know-how, the process, okay? Humility, the way you guys handle more than anybody in the city. One step at a time, right? But the root system's in place. The root system's in place.
It's week number 2 of this National Football League season. Time once again for the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys come home. The home opener against the New Orleans Saints, a noon kickoff at AT&T Stadium. Coach got the season kicked off in a big way in Cleveland, just the kind of start that you wanted, but it's just a start to bigger things ahead, right?
No doubt. It's really just a start to September football, and I think that's really, the way you have to look at this. Excellent opponent in the Saints. It's our home opener, so that's always exciting. But, yeah, I think just a little bit like we talked about before the show, these first couple opponents they're uncommon. Haven't played them in quite some time, and the Saints they bring a unique challenge.
Yeah, talking about this Saints team, coached by Dennis Allen. He's in his 3rd year as the head coach, but he's been with the team for a decade now. And really, as far as being a defensive play caller, you won't find very many teams around the league that have that same kind of continuity. And they bring back virtually everybody from last year's team, coming off a big win for them with 47 points scored a week ago.
No, absolutely, and I think you can see it in their play. You can see it in their play really at the end of the year. I clearly view them as a playoff team, just based off the video and the evaluation of it. So, and I think they really kind of picked up right where they left off, at the end of the season.
All right, talking about your team and the win in Cleveland last week, I want to start on offense. The beautiful catch by C.D. Lamb. Didn't take long for him to get reacclimated with Dak and the touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks. There are some other things to work on as far as the offense goes, but it's great getting the group back together again.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it really was our first, full opportunity. I thought we did a lot of good things there in the first half. We didn't have the third down conversions in the second half to keep rolling, but yeah, I think it's just like any game. It's good to win by 3 touchdowns and have a lot to work on. So, and I think that's just really a reflection of this time of year. And
of course, with the young guys you got on the offensive line, starting with them, Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, how'd things shake out with their first NFL game?
They did their jobs. I mean, I think that's all you can ask for. I mean, just from an expectation standpoint. They both had a big challenge. Cooper, starting with Cooper, to be on the road. The communication, the snapping, and all that, and it had some tough challenges by their defensive tackles, and Tyler saw a lot of Myles Garrett, and so no, I like the way that their career started. But I think the biggest thing when you play young players, especially rookies, especially in their first game, when you're going through the call sheet as you set up your call sheet, if the game's not affected by their performance, that in itself is a huge win, and we were able to stay right on course.
When you look at this Saints defense, what do you see? There's some veteran guys, Demario Davis, who's now 35 years old in his 13th year in the league, Cameron Jordan up front, Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary. They've got some experience on that unit.
Well, they got experience, they have talent. There's a lot of high picks. I mean, the perimeter challenges you. So, yeah, I think this is a group that's, played a few years back when we went down to New Orleans, but it's a very, very good defense. Dennis and his staff, it's very challenging schematically. Once again, the video this week has been impressive. So this will be a great game to start at home with.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, it's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues here inside the Globe Life studio. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, sportsday, DFW.com. Let's talk about a former Saint going up against a team that he was drafted by going way back. Brandon Cooks, and he's got a little streak going for the Cowboys. We talked so much about CeeDee Lamb, but Brandon Cooks, he's found his niche here in Dallas.
He has, and the significance of this, he did come into the league with the New Orleans Saints back in 2014. Sunday will be the 150th regular season game he's played. If you're in the league that long, that separates you from the pack. He's been an outstanding player, 6 1,000-yard seasons. And I started thinking about him a little bit the other day going into this game because that's where his career started in New Orleans. But also I was remembering what a lot of the conversation outside of the building was early last year was, why isn't Brandon Cooks more involved? Why is it taking so long to get him to be a part of this offense? And I went back and looked at the numbers, and in the first 8 games last year, I think he had like 17 catches for 160 yards. But from that point on, you look at that final 9, he was like 37 receptions, 492 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's carved out a significant niche in this offense as the receiver, the complementary receiver to CeeDee Lamb, fills that role beautifully. And in addition to this being game 150, if he catches a touchdown pass or scores against a game in the Saints, it'll be the 5th consecutive game in which he scored a touchdown.
And while his numbers have gone up, CeeDee's numbers have gone up.
They keep going up too, yeah. I mean, he really does help him. I mean, when there's too much pressure on CeeDee, he's making them pay, and then it kind of is that pendulum going back and forth between the two.
All right, let's go from Cooks to Cook. There's a guy on the practice squad, a running back who's pretty accomplished in this league, Dalvin Cook. How long do you think it might be before Dalvin Cook gets elevated?
That's the question, especially when the production in that first game wasn't as high, especially in the second half when you were managing the clock and weren't looking to score as much. I still think it's going to be another week. This would be the second full week of practice for a veteran who wasn't part of any training camp, any team's training camp in the offseason. That you've seen the Cowboys kind of use that time frame in the past before they even consider bringing veterans off the practice squad to join the roster. I also think, frankly, they want to give another look at this, committee as constructed. They don't want to make any conclusions after one game. Second game at home, they'll have a little bit better feel. I think Dalvin Cook would be ready to come back at that point. And then from game 3 on against Baltimore, I think that's going to be a weekly conversation.
And final seconds here, though, Zeke looked like Zeke, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. What they really missed last year as an offense, you saw him do early in that game. You're inside the 5-yard line, 3rd and short on the goal line, you hand it to him. There's really very little doubt that he's going to find a way to get in. He's still one of the best in the league at that. But they do need to get better on their early runs. Too many 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 when they start a series with a running play.
All right, our thanks to David Moore, the Dallas Morning News. Up next, it's Kavontae Turpin on the heels of a punt return for a touchdown.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Kavontae Turpin, wide receiver. This year, going into year 3, with the Cowboys, my expectation was, get back to the Pro Bowl, and just be a playmaker for the team, man. Just do everything I can to be a playmaker for Dak and the offensive coordinator. It was good. It was good because I feel like Bones knew that. Just going by getting the rule change, he knew that I wouldn't get a lot of opportunities. So I feel like with him doing that, getting the rule change, I feel like it was great, for our program, for me, because I'm a danger return man. And I just feel like it's good, man. Just put special teams back in the game. Man, it just, man, not just as a player, but as a man, man. Bones, man, he always stays in my ear, man. He just keep me up, man. Just never down and always up. He always keep a smile on his face, I'm just happy, just allow him to coach me up. First off, I'll say I want to give a shout out to C.J. Goodwin and Jalen Brooks. You know that all night they was working their tail off. You know, but just by getting the return started, then you know just my blockers, man. We've been doing this since training camp. You know, just I always tell them, man, just give me a little crease, man, just a little bit, just stay on your block just a little bit longer, bro. And they just, you know, me just reading them, and I told them I'm always making right, and that's just what I did week 1. Just stay up, man. Keep faith in yourself. You know, rooted means just keep your feet where they at, man. That's just, you know, that's just where we going right now, man. Stay where your feet at. I just say unscouted looks, pretty much, because we, you know, just coming from training camp week 1. I just say just unscouted looks, things that we haven't seen yet. You know, it probably be a little surprise to us, but as a team, we just got to go out there and just execute and do our pace operation. And I just feel like we'll be okay.
Kavontae, a huge playmaker for the Cowboys, and now a huge playmaker for us is Will McClay, because he's got the Telestrator out, and we're going to take a look first at some playmakers on this Saints offense. And how about we start with the 5-time Pro Bowler at running back Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, you know what? Just a phenomenal player for them. Second, he had 75 catches last year. So we'll look at him running the ball here. Kind of new run scheme, kind of San Francisco. They're going to go wide zone, which fits him. Here you go. You're going to see him stretch. Now he's going to set it up, and he's going to look at the vision. But then what he does is put his foot in the ground and get vertical by accelerating really quickly.
He's been doing it for many years, and he does it in the run game and the receiving game as well.
75 catches last year, all right? They like to match him up on linebackers. Here's a look at it here. They're going to move. They'll run the tight end across the middle linebacker's face, and then he's got one-on-one. So you'll see him here, just a quick set and settle. Now, it's the run after the catch. It's 1, 2, 3 people and scoring a touchdown. We've got to be prepared for that.
All right, and they've got an elite wide receiver now in his 3rd year, coming off an 87-catch season last year out of the factory for wide receivers, The Ohio State University, Chris Olave.
Yeah, I mean, kid who can run in the 4.3s. We'll look at him here. He's an excellent route runner. Great releases off of press, and then his hand-eye coordination, number of acrobatic catches. All right, he releases. Now he stacks the DB. Now you watch the concentration with the body on him. He's made a number of catches like that. Not only do you have to worry about the speed, but catching the ball in the crowd.
All right, we flip it over to the defensive side of the football. A couple of guys in the front 7 you want to look at. One with 8.5 sacks last year, Carl Granderson, and then the middle linebacker, Demario Davis.
Yeah, Carl Granderson. Here's a guy that comes out of nowhere, undrafted player. All right, you look at him here. Very physical, can run really well. We'll look at him in the run game, and also Davis here, how it plays together. They're going to try and run that zone. He's going to haul over there. Now, the patience of Davis and the physicality makes their run defense work.
You know, they've got Cameron Jordan up front on their defense too, but Carl Granderson gets more snaps than anybody on their front four.
Yes, and we'll look at it here. We'll watch him here on the pass rush. First, he's directing the nose. All right, they're going to try and get him here. They're going to try and double him, but then you look at the quickness and the ability to flip his hips and close at the quarterback makes him dangerous.
All right, and how about Demario Davis? Amazing, 13-year career. He's missed 1 game in 13 years now at age 35.
6 of the last 7 years, he's played over 90% of the snaps. Kind of unheard of for a linebacker. But you look at him here, still playing like a young man. All right, he's going to watch it. He's not going to take all the cheese here. He sees the misdirection. He's pointing it out. Now the quarterback tries to break out. There's a 35-year-old man running 19 miles an hour to chase quarterback down.
Much like Will McClay. Yeah, there you go. All right, our thanks to Will McClay, and the head coach rejoins us when the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones now rejoined by the head coach. Let's talk about this defensive effort last week and going up against a Saints team. The offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. It's interesting for Mike Zimmer because last week he goes up against his former offensive coordinator, the head coach of the Browns, Kevin Stefanski. This week he gets another one in Clint Kubiak. I don't know if he could have scheduled any better than that, as far as familiarity anyway.
Definitely, and Clint's done a nice job. I mean, they've made the transition to his, to his system. It seemed pretty seamless. Obviously, had a big day in week 1, but they have weapons. Just with the starting point of their, the outside zone running the football. So, this will be a challenge for our group.
You know, they've got a number of guys, of course, Derek Carr, the quarterback, and Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed. But I want to ask you about Taysom Hill because they're lining him up at tailback now this year. Here's a guy, though, that was with the Green Bay Packers in training camp back in 2017. Now he's 34 years old. Of course, he was older coming into the league at age 27 out of BYU. Yeah. Has he turned into the player that you thought he would be when you had him in Green Bay?
Oh, just so much more. I mean, you know, the year in Green Bay, I mean, he had a great preseason and really, frankly, deserved to make the football team. And so, you know, sometimes you get a little cute at the 53. You try to move a guy over to practice squad. Well, that lasted about 5 minutes, and he ended up in New Orleans, and he's obviously has a great career in what he's done. And but yeah, you could see it in the preseason because I think he led the league in rushing in the preseason that year. So just really happy for him. But gosh, I think they've done a phenomenal job utilizing his talents.
All right, talking about your defensive effort, you know, the first 8 possessions of that game in Cleveland, I think it was a total of 45 yards and 1 first down. That's going all the way into the third quarter of that game. I want to talk about the linebackers a little bit, starting with Eric Kendricks and what he means to this Mike Zimmer defense.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's the straw that stirs the drink. Make no bones about it. He has a phenomenal understanding, key communicator, and really started when he arrived here in the spring. You know, just obviously his history with Mike and their connection that they have, and very similar to a play caller and a quarterback on offense. So, and Eric had a great start to his Cowboy career.
And how about DeMarvion Overshown? You described it in training camp. When DeMarvion walks in the room, he's the bright light that comes into the room. Such a great human being, first of all, but he flashes in a game too. That closing speed is pretty unreal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He just has great energy. It just, you know, the splash plays that he made, you felt him on the field immediately. You know, the 4th down, you know, if you want to see, if you're looking for one picture, just, you know, look at the 4th and 7. I think it's just the way he erased it in no time. So yeah, it's just great to have him out there healthy.
And one note on special teams here: these two teams are kind of mirror images of themselves in special teams, as far as a Pro Bowl punt returner, kick returner, Rashid Shaheed for them. Kavontae Turpin for you. You got 2 kickers out of Notre Dame that can boot it from 66 yards. In fact, it's pretty interesting matchup there.
Well, I think it's just like anything. You can see the commitment. You know, both very well coached. So yeah, this is. I know this is a contest that John's really looking forward to.
All right, we wrap up this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, and we come back in just a moment.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Look forward to seeing everyone. Looking forward to shaking hands before the games, giving out a few hugs. Alex, I'm looking forward to giving you a hug and a kiss before the game. And then I'm looking forward to consoling you after. So good luck, everyone. Good luck this weekend.
Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, been there, 25 years or so. In fact, Mike McCarthy was with the Saints going back 20 plus years and worked with Mickey Loomis. But his son, Alex Loomis, is the director of pro scouting for the Cowboys, has been for many years. Other family ties here. You got Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the Saints, Klein Kubiak, area scout for the Cowboys. This is like a family reunion weekend for some.
No doubt, all in the family. But no, just really happy for Mickey. He's had an incredible career there. Had the opportunity to work with Mickey from 2000, 2004, and you know, and Alex was running around training camp as a youngster. So it's amazing how fast time goes.
And you know, I normally reserve this segment for the sort of the unsung stars. Well, how about the unsung stars of your scouting department, especially we talk about it draft time, but especially getting ready for the start of the season, how much you rely on them?
Oh yeah, no doubt. You know, starting with Will and just the way, you know, number one, I think, you know, everybody has a job to do, but it's, you know, like anything, it's the communication and the collaboration is critical. I mean, that's where the gold is, and we definitely have that here. So, just so thankful for those guys.
Thankful to be home too. Okay, 16 wins the last 2 years at home. How about we keep it going here on Sunday afternoon?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. For Mike McCarthy, I'm Bill Jones. We appreciate you joining us here for the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys.